delete my number, don't call again. Those were the last words he ever said to me. He didn't shout. He didn't hesitate. He said the way a CEO fires an employee he thinks is beneath him, calm, cold, and devastatingly final. I still remember standing in the rain behind his corporate building 4 years ago, clutching my crack phone, staring at the message he sent at 11:43 p.m. like it was a punch to the chest. Don't call again. As if I had begged. As if I had ever asked him for anything. Tonight, he's sitting outside my house in a black Escalade with the engine running. 4 years later. Same man. Same arrogance. But something in his eyes isn't the same. There's fear, panic, desperation. And when I open the door and see him standing there, this man who once erased me like I was nothing, his voice trembles. Please, I need your help. The man who once told me never to call him again has come back. For me. Hello, everyone. Before we begin today's video, we want to thank you for your support, love, and kindness. We wouldn't have come this far without you. Subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue to bring you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the story. For years ago, I was nobody. Well, not nobody. I was a junior data analyst at Vantarian Industries, a multi-billion-dollar tech corporation run by one of the youngest CEOs in the country, Julian Hale, the golden boy of corporate America. Julian was the kind of man magazines wrote entire issues about, the kind of man the stock market adored, the kind of man who never heard the word no in his life. And for a brief, stupid moment, I thought I meant something to him. We met because he liked the way I thought. That's what he said. Anyway, he'd come to my floor sometimes, standing behind my desk, pretending to analyze charts while his eyes lingered on me a little too long. Then he started messaging me at odd hours. Little conversations. Harmless, friendly, until they weren't. Until we crossed a line we should have left alone. But he never wanted anyone to know, especially not his board. He liked me privately, quietly, invisibly, and I accepted crumbs because I was young, broke, and enchanted by a man who seemed untouchable. Until the night everything shattered. The board was preparing a massive merger. Rumors were swirling, valuations climbing. The company couldn't afford a scandal, not with the CEO at the center. So he sent me, delete my number, don't call again. A second message followed, be smart, don't make this messy. As if I was a problem, as if I was a threat. I wanted to scream at him, tell him I never asked for any of this. But that wasn't what hurt. What hurt was how easily he erased me, how quickly he made it clear that I was disposable. I quit the next morning. No confrontation, no goodbyes, just silence. And then my life began to rebuild without him. I started a new job, a new city, a new chapter. I told myself I would never let a man like Julian Hale have that kind of power over me again. And for 4 years, I kept that promise. Until tonight, at 9:17 p.m. on an otherwise quiet Thursday night, I heard an engine outside my house, deep, expensive, and completely out of place in my modest neighborhood. I looked through the curtain expecting to see a lost driver or maybe a delivery truck. But what I saw froze every nerve in my body. A black Escalade, windows tinted, lights off, parked right in front of my driveway. My heart didn't pound. It stopped because even from the faint street lamp glow, even from a distance, I recognized him. Julian, for years without a single call, a single message, a single apology. For years without caring if I lived or died. And now, he was sitting in front of my house. I opened the door slowly, letting the cold air hit my face, grounding me in reality. He stepped out of the car like he was stepping into a boardroom. Tailored coat, midnight black suit, immaculate posture, same polished perfection. But something was wrong. His hair wasn't styled. His tie was loosened. His eyes bloodshot, like he hadn't slept in days. Why are you here? I asked, keeping the door between us like a shield. He swallowed hard. Even his breath trembled. I need your help, he said. Delete my number. Don't call again. I replied coldly, throwing his words back. He flinched. Good. You're the only person I can trust right now, he said. I laughed, sharp and bitter. Trust? You erase me. I know, he whispered. And I was wrong. Very wrong. You need to leave. I can't. His voice cracked. Julian Hale, America's coldest, most calculated CEO, was unraveling. What do you want? I asked. He looked around nervously before stepping closer. I think someone is trying to kill me. At first, I thought he was being dramatic. Rich men are paranoid. Power makes people think everyone is after them. But then he showed me his phone. 3 messages, all from an unknown number. Message 1, I know what you did. Message 2, you ruined the wrong life. Message 3, soon the world will know everything. My stomach tightened, not out of sympathy, but dread, because I knew the old Julian. I knew the shortcuts he took, the people he stepped on, the secrets he buried. What does this have to do with me? I asked sharply. He hesitated. And then, the messages mention you. My breath caught. What? He turned the phone screen to me again. There was a 4th message, sent 40 minutes earlier. She deserved better than what you did to her. My blood ran cold. What did you do? I asked slowly. That's the problem, he said. His voice broke again, a sound I had never imagined coming from him. I don't know which mistake is coming back for me. I want to say I slammed the door. I want to say I told him to drown in the consequences. He once feared more than losing me. But life has a cruel sense of timing. Because as I stood there, angry, shaking, torn between past wounds and present danger, a car rolled slowly down the street. Black sedan. Windows down, just enough for someone inside to be watching us. Watching me. Get inside, Julian whispered urgently, stepping closer. Don't touch me. I'm not. Please get inside. They might be. He didn't finish. The sedan paused in front of my house. Stared. Waited. Then drove away. A chill wrapped around me like ice. Please, he repeated. Just hear me out. If you want me gone afterward, I'll disappear forever. It was the first time he had ever given me a choice. I stepped back and opened the door fully. 5 minutes, I said. He nodded gratefully and followed me in. I locked the door behind us. Not because I trusted him, but because something bigger and darker than either of us was watching. He sat on the couch, elbows on his knees, hands shaking. Julian Hale, the man who once stood on magazine covers with the confidence of a king, looked like a broken soldier. I've been getting messages for weeks, he said. At first, I ignored them. People threaten CEOs all the time. Comes with the job. I crossed my arms. And now they know my schedule. They know my private routes. They know who I've met. They know about the merger plan only 7 people had access to. He breathed out shakily. And then they sent something I couldn't ignore. He pulled out a folded piece of paper. Creased, worn, touched too many times. He opened it. My breath left my body. It was a photograph. Me, leaving my job 4 years ago. My eyes puffy, my face defeated, my life in pieces. On the back was a message written in red ink. Justice always comes late, but it comes. My knees weakened. Why would they target me? I whispered. Because I hurt you, he said softly. Because you were my mistake. He looked at me with guilt, so raw it almost didn't look like him. I think someone is using you to get to me. He leaned forward, and I think they're willing to destroy both of us. I wanted to scream, cry, throw him out, do anything except sit here and listen to a man who shattered me claim that I was collateral damage in his corporate war. But the fear creeping under my skin told me this wasn't just about heartbreak. Someone had been watching me, tracking me, photographing me for years later, which meant they had never stopped. Why didn't you go to the police? I asked. I did, he said. They laughed, told me to hire more security. But whoever this is, they know every guard rotation, every private meeting, every system password. How? He met my eyes. Because someone on the inside is helping them. My stomach twisted, and you came to me because His voice dropped. Because you're the only person who has no ties to my company. No ties to the board. No ties to the press. He swallowed. And because I owe you more than you will ever know. He looked like he wanted to say something else. Something heavy. Something he'd kept buried for years. Julian, I said slowly, what happened 4 years ago? Why did you cut me off like that? Was it really just a board? Or was it something else? His jaw flexed. His eyes softened. And for the first time since I'd met him, Julian Hale looked ashamed. It wasn't the board, he said quietly. Ice shot through my veins. Then what? He looked up at me, and the truth in his eyes was terrifying. I ended things because someone threatened your life if I didn't. My heart stopped. What? He nodded slowly. They sent me a message tonight before I told you to delete my number. He pulled something from his wallet, a small, worn slip of paper. The ink was faded, but the words were clear. End it, or she dies. I couldn't breathe. You're lying. I whispered. I wish I was, he said. I thought leaving you would protect you. I thought cutting you out would keep you safe. He rubbed his forehead with trembling fingers. But whoever wanted you gone back then is back. And this time, they don't want you to disappear. He looked at me with fear he couldn't hide. They want us both. For a long moment, I couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Someone threatened my life? I whispered. Julian nodded slowly, painfully. I didn't want to believe it. I thought it was bluff. Then the next day, a brick shattered my driver's window with a note wrapped around it. He looked at me with haunted eyes. It said, "We don't bluff." The air grew thick, suffocating. "So you ended everything without telling me?" "How could I tell you?" he replied. "If I explained, you would have fought me. You would have demanded answers, demanded involvement, and that would have made you even more of a target." Anger surged in my chest, sharp, hot, blinding. "You destroyed me," I said, "and you let me believe it was my fault." He closed his eyes. "I know. I have lived with that guilt every day for 4 years. And now you drag me back into it because you're scared?" His jaw clenched. "No. I came because whoever targeted us then is back. And this time, they're playing a bigger game. Something involving the company, the merger, and a scandal that could ruin everything. And they want revenge," I said quietly. "Not just revenge," he whispered. "They want exposure. They want me humiliated. And they want you gone." A chill crawled down my spine. "What are they planning?" He hesitated. Then he pulled out a flash drive. "This." He set the small black flash drive on the table like a bomb. "What is it?" I asked. "My entire career," he said. "And a weapon, depending on who holds it." It took a moment for the meaning to land. "This is why they're threatening you." I whispered. "Yes. The drive contains every unethical decision the board has ever made. Whistleblower reports they buried. Employee complaints they erased. Financial fraud they disguised. Discrimination cases they paid off. And you kept all that?" I didn't intend to. It started as evidence for an internal reform. But before I could act, someone found out I had it. They want it, and they're willing to destroy us both to get it. Why don't you just publish it? I asked, because the moment I do, they will frame me as the mastermind behind every crime listed. They'll claim I ran the corruption, and with their connections, the world will believe them. So what now? I asked. He looked at me with desperate sincerity. "You're the only person they don't expect, the only person I trust, and the only person who can help me expose them safely." I stared at him. "So after 4 years, you come to me because you need something?" "No," he said quietly. "After 4 years, I come to you because you're the only one I never should have pushed away." His voice trembled. "And because I'm terrified of losing you again." I looked away, trying to steady the storm inside me. He hurt me. He broke me. He abandoned me. But this wasn't the same man I once knew. And something inside me whispered that we were in danger. Together, we didn't get another word out before everything shattered. Literally, a window exploded in the living room, glass flying like knives. "Get down!" Julian yelled. pulling me to the floor just as a second crash shook the house. Someone was throwing bricks. Again, my heart pounded as boots crunched on broken glass outside. Multiple footsteps. Slow, deliberate. Someone was circling the house. "Stay behind me," Julian whispered, pulling me toward the hallway. "Do you have security?" I hissed. "Yes, 4 guards. But whoever this is, they're trained. They found a way around them." A sudden bang at the door made me jump. Then another, then a voice. "Hand over the drive, Julian." My blood froze. They knew he was inside. They knew about me. Julian's breath shook. "Go to the back room," he whispered. "No, please go." But before I could argue, the front door splintered. Shadows forced their way inside. 2, maybe 3 masked figures. My instinct screamed, "Run." We dashed down the hallway, Julian gripping my hand tightly. Something he never dared do in the past, even in secret. Behind us, boots pounded the floor. Voices shouted. And then, a gunshot. Loud, sharp, close. I stumbled, but Julian held me upright, dragging me toward the back exit. We burst in the backyard, cold night air slicing my lungs. Julian fumbled for his phone. "They're inside the house," he told the guard urgently. "Get back up now." Gunshots echoed again. "We need to move," he whispered, grabbing my arm. And then, a dark figure stepped from behind my shed, blocking our escape. A mask, a gun, a cold, steady aim. "Give me the drive," the figure said, "or I shoot her first." Julian froze, and in that moment, I saw it. The truth he never said, never dared admit. He wasn't here because he needed my help. He was here because losing me had always been his greatest fear. And this time, he wasn't willing to lose me again. "Let her go," Julian said, stepping in front of me, the gun pointed directly at his chest. "Move aside," the masked voice growled. "You hand over the drive or she dies." "I won't," Julian said, voice steady. "You kill her, and I'll burn the entire company down with what I know. No merger, no profit, no silence. I'll release everything." "You won't," the figure hissed. "You're a coward." Julian took a slow breath. "No, just a man who chose the wrong things to protect, and is done making that mistake." His voice shook, not with fear but conviction. "I won't lose her again." The figure cocked the gun. I felt Julian tense beside me, ready to shield me with his own body. "Okay," I whispered, stepping forward. "Take the drive." Julian grabbed my arm sharply. "No, don't." "It's me they want," I said. "They've been following me for years. Photographing me, threatening me. I'm the leverage, Julian." "No," he whispered, eyes shining with something raw and desperate. "I won't sacrifice you." The masked figure laughed, touching, but useless. Suddenly, a blinding floodlight illuminated the backyard. "Drop the weapon," a voice shouted. Julian's security team, all 4 alive, weapons raised. The masked figure froze, hesitated, then sprinted for the fence, scaling it in seconds and disappearing into the night. Julian pulled me into his chest, shaking with adrenaline. "It's not over," he whispered. "They'll come again." The next morning, Julian called an emergency meeting with the board. I didn't want to go, but he insisted. "You're the reason they're panicking," he said. "Your presence threatens whoever's behind this, and I need you there when the truth comes out." So I went. We walked into the boardroom together. The first time in history the CEO entered a meeting with a woman the board didn't know. Shock rippled across the room. Whispers, stares, judgment, perfect. Julian placed a flash drive on the table. "This," he said, "is the end of your secrets." The board stiffened. One man, the CFO, Victor Graves, folded his hands calmly. "You don't want to do this, Julian," he said. "Oh, I do," Julian replied. Victor leaned back, handing over confidential data to outsiders. Very unprofessional, possibly criminal. Julian smiled coldly. "Only if I get caught." The board shifted uncomfortably. Victor smirked. Who is she? He asked, chin jerking toward me. Your new assistant? Or just another mistake? Julian slammed his hand on the table. She is the witness to everything you've done, and I dare you to disrespect her again. The room fell silent. Victor's eyes narrowed. Ah, there it was. Recognition, fear, hatred. He knew who I was, and in that moment, I knew who had targeted me. Victor Graves, the man who once screamed at Julian during a private meeting because a low-level analyst was becoming a liability. The man who had the motive, the access, and the need to silence us both. Julian turned to me. Tell them what you saw. My voice was steady. For years, someone followed me, threatened me, tried to erase me. I thought it was because I once knew Julian. I looked directly at Victor, but it wasn't heartbreak. It was fear. Victor's jaw tightened. Enough, he snapped. This is absurd. You have no evidence. Julian tapped the flash drive. Oh, I do. Julian connected the drive to the big screen. Emails appeared. Dozens. Hundreds. Signed by Victor Graves. Orders to bury sexual harassment reports. Instructions to falsify financial forecasts. Direct commands to sabotage employees who question the board. Threats to silence whistleblowers. Payments made to private investigators, including one investigator assigned to follow me. The room erupted. Victor, what the hell? Is this real? Did you do this? Victor paled, sweat breaking across his forehead. This is a setup, he screamed. A fabrication. Julian played a video next. Security footage. Victor meeting with the masked figure who attacked us. Gasps filled the room. Victor lunged for Julian. You ruined everything, he shouted. Security tackled him instantly. Julian stood tall, calm, cold, triumphant, and as Victor was dragged out, Julian looked at me. I told you, he said softly. I would never let them hurt you again. By afternoon, Victor Graves was arrested, charged with racketeering, fraud, witness intimidation, corporate sabotage, and conspiracy to commit murder. The merger collapsed, but instead of disappointment, investors celebrated. Julian announced a new reform plan, a transparent one that would clean the company from the inside out. Reporters swarmed us. Headlines exploded. CEO exposes corrupt board member in historic corporate scandal. Whistleblower evidence reveals years of abuse. The woman he once erased is now the woman who saved his career. I hated that last one. I didn't save him. We saved each other. Later that evening, Julian and I sat outside on the company balcony, overlooking the city. Exhausted, relieved, quiet. I owe you an apology, he said softly. For everything. For every lie I told to protect you, and for every truth I never said. I didn't speak. I loved you, he whispered. Back then. Now. Always. I thought pushing you away would save your life. But all it did was destroy mine. Silence. And I don't expect forgiveness, he continued. I just want you to know I choose you now. Openly. If you'll have me, my stung. I don't know if I can trust you yet. I said honestly. I'll earn it, he replied. Every day. For the first time in years. I believed him. 2 weeks later, things were finally quiet. Victor was in prison. The investigation was closing. Life was beginning to feel normal again. Then one morning, a letter arrived. No return address. No signature. Inside was a single photograph. Julian and I on the company balcony. Talking. Laughing. Clothes. On the back was a message in the same red ink as the old threats. You caught one, but not all of us. A chill rolled down my spine. Victor was not the end. He was the beginning. Someone else was out there, watching, waiting. And this time, they weren't after Julian. They were after me.